happens here. So here's the shape. I'm just going to, I can even move up a little bit because it does have these serifs. And if you can watch this, I'm just going to place that off of there. There's the L, there's the inside of the B, there's the B, and now I have that part. So now all I have to do is just kind of shade just a little bit, and it gives me that extension. So there's the L and the L. The period for the inside, just round that off. So it builds that part up. The section that has the B, kind of give it so it has a little bit of the negative space in there, just rectangular shapes. Just line it in there. Now if you don't want to use a straight edge to help you with that, that's fine. But as I curve this for the E, I'm just angling off these parts. And again, jumping it up just a little bit. And it puts it in there. So kind of puts that in there. So there's the B. Now the other part that has the text up at the top, do the same way. You'll have the base line and the height line with a couple of lines. And so here's the W, R, and everything that's placed in there. So I'm just trying to shade the part that is on the opposite side here. So if this is the height of these letters, so there's that piece, and then you're just shading around the edges to build that piece up. So that helps there. So now I just have to look at the angle, and here I'm just going to freehand in the drawing, give myself a baseline and the height line for that. Like I said, it does get a little tricky in there, and you're trying to find the center. So when you take a look at the lettering, counting out the letters, you can count them by twos, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So there's 12 letters plus the space. So I go into 2, 4, and 6, and that gives me right in between the L and the E. So once I know that, and the L and the I's, they don't take up that much space, so there's the L, there's the K, the N's going to be a little bit bigger, the I is going to be narrower, the R and the W. Okay, this one's going to be the E with a little bit of space, and then the capital F, R, E, and E. And then just a quick line across for the lowercase letters. So now, if I were to angle the W, here's the R, there's the I, here's the N, here's the K, and the E. Just clip off the corners. Okay, so it's building that up. And over here you have a capital F for that part. And here you have the 3 lower cases, R, E, E. And just round them all off. So depending on how detailed, then if I, like I said, if I have the straight edge, I can just shade that in real quickly, right like that. So it's building up the text in a reversed letters. It gets a little tricky there. And then the second one, Cotton 6-letter word. So again, I'm just going to, here's the 2 T's, O and an N, O and a C. And just simply, it's at an angle, so I'm just curving off the part for the C. Fill in the middle and draw that part out. Top part of the O for cotton. And then it comes into this letter T. The T is a little trickier, but if you start off with the rectangle shape, indicating it there. And then just extending this down off the side here for the cotton. And then, like I said, once you get most of it in there, you can sketch it out. Now the last part just has this since. So here's the baseline and height line. And again, just kind of count out 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. There's 10 of those in between the E and the year. And it's italic letter. So S-I-N-C-E, a little bit of space, and then you have the year, and the I's and the number ones are a little bit smaller. 1912. So once you get it, makes it pretty easy. Right, like so. And see if you can't. In there. And again, once you get the lettering, then you can just simply, here I'm just using this straight edge to help me along. I'm just going to heavy up some of the lines and shade that right up to the edge. Till I get to this part is going to be an elliptical shape for the circle. And then it does have this little kind of a loop going around it. And then the overall rectangle has these curves, so just going to curve that in there. And do the same thing, just kind of, as I shade this, I'm using the ruler and just kind of pushing it. And it helps me keep a pretty quick shaded segment. And coming all the way up to the top here. And just a warning, if you make it large enough, it makes it easier to do the actual shading in this. Just kind of rotate. So when you take a look at what you have, simple label, and again, line it up. Let's see if I can angle that a little bit better. So here's the line. So as if I start this, I can just kind of blend it in. Always, you can start from the letters you have so you don't accidentally shade right into them. And there you go. So it's kind of blocked out. So it takes a little patience, but all the letters are just made right out of a rectangular piece there. And then since this is a little bit of a 3D card, you can heavy up one of these sides and just offset it a little bit just to give it that thickness. And do the same on this side. Heavy it up a little bit, shade it in, blend it in, and find that edge. And just find that curve. And that's just a matter of trying to get, the only tricky part is you're trying to stay out of that lettering now, so you're constantly working around it. But it does become pretty good. And then this little part, this little plastic piece that goes around, you notice it has a little fastener. The photograph doesn't come across, but you can improvise and make it just almost like a little loop chain. There's even across there. And using this again as a stop for your shading, just kind of blending it here. And then you can go back into the lettering and see if you need to clean any of it up. See how you do. So give that a try. It's a little tricky, but it'll give you that that edge in there.